All right, welcome everybody to the regular city council meeting for the city of Galt for October 21st, 2025. I appreciate everybody's patience as we came out of closed session on a delay. Mr. Spendario is not here yet. All right, give us a second for our attorney to get in here.
Here he comes. There he is.
Mr. Splendario, is there any report from closed session?
Thank you, Mayor. The council provided direction on the items listed on the agenda, but there is no reportable action.
All right, thanks, sir. I'll now call the meeting to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
Vice Mayor Sandu,
Here.
Councilmember Pratton,
Here.
Councilmember Reed,
Here.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Here.
Mayor Farmer.
Here. If everyone could please join us for a silent prayer, followed by a flag salute. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, moving on to item F, agenda approval, additions and or deletions. Do we have any this evening? No? Okay. Moving on to item G, presentations. Presentation this evening is going to be the Galt Community of Character Coalition, Respect and Pride in Community.
Good evening. I'm Mary Martinez, and this is Carolyn Lara, and we're with the Galt Community of Character Coalition. Just a few words first. For the past 18 years, the Galt Community of Character Coalition has been promoting a community culture built on values, goodwill, and community-chosen character traits. And those include integrity, honesty, respect, pride in community, responsibility, and caring and compassion. So far, our organization has recognized over 300 individuals and groups and organizations telling the stories of ordinary people here in our community. These so-called ordinary people do extraordinary things, and they make our community richer every time. Tonight, we are recognizing two extraordinary individuals, and we will start with Catherine McCracken for the character trait respect. Please come up, Catherine. Catherine, can you stand over here? Catherine McCracken is a volunteer at the Galt Teen Center who consistently embodies the character trait respect while serving the teens in our community. Respect is a quality that speaks volumes, not just through words, but through daily actions. It means treating others with kindness, listening without judgment, and valuing different perspectives. Catherine has shown all of this and more. Whether in her interactions with peers, her thoughtful responses in challenging situations, or the way she leads by example, her respect for others shines brightly. Catherine shows genuine consideration for the thoughts and feelings of those around her, and in doing so, she creates an environment where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. Catherine's respectful nature uplifts others and builds bridges of trust and understanding. It's a quality that not only makes her a person of integrity, but also someone others naturally admire and look up to. Catherine is a shining example of what it means to live with respect. Her actions have made a meaningful difference at the Galt Teen Center. And Catherine was nominated by Sarah McFadden. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I'd like to call up Lucas Villalpando for the character trait Pride in Community. Hi, Lucas. Congratulations. Stay here. The Galt Community of Character Coalition has selected Lucas Villalpando for its 2025 Pride in Community Award. Lucas exemplifies the definition of someone who takes pride in community. In 2024, he was a hard-working volunteer at the Barbara Payne Community Garden. Along with Boy Scout Troop 238, Lucas and the other Boy Scouts came out to donate their time and efforts to build garden boxes for senior gardeners. In working for his Eagle Scout rank, Lucas was acting as a mentor and leader for the younger Scouts as he helped them build the garden boxes, as well as rebuild the city bulletin board at the garden. It was incredibly impressive to see this young man working so hard and extending such patience and guidance while teaching the younger Scouts. In addition to working toward completing his Eagle Scout rank in the Boy Scouts, he has also served as senior patrol leader for 2 years. Lucas is also a swimming instructor and lifeguard at the Galt Pool. In addition, Lucas is an honor roll student at Galt High School, where he is studying agriculture and engineering pathways. For the past 3 years, he has been an active in FFA, working on the small engines team. Lucas Villalpando is a true asset to the Galt community, as well as a remarkable young man who consistently demonstrates pride in community. And he was nominated by Bronson Simonik. Bronson, you want to stand up? Thank you so much.
Thank you, and congratulations to both of you. Thank you for what you guys do for our community. Does any of the council have any comments they'd like to make or move on? Okay. All right, next up is going to be item H, our public comment. Tina, can you read our statement, please?
Under Government Code Section 549, 54.3, members of the public may address the city council on non-agenda items. The public comment section is for the city council to receive comments, except for brief responses to questions. No discussion or action may be taken on any item that is not listed on the agenda. Please limit comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Consistent with the City Council procedural guidelines, the mayor reserves the right to shorten the time limit for speakers to ensure the efficient and timely completion of all city business on the agenda. Ken Lee.
Good evening, council members. I'm Ken Lee. I'm here to speak up against the senior abuses happening in the city by the retailers. Many of the retailers, the registers aren't displaying the ring up on the screen, so you don't know what you're getting rung up for. So basically, you should stop the belt and stop the register. Ask for a supervisor, have them switch register. It's not good enough to get the receipt as they tell you to get the receipt. If you don't like what was rung up, get it adjusted at the customer service center. Well, time is money to us seniors, and our budget is already stretched. So basically, something needs to be done to watch out for us seniors. I'm getting tired of it, and we're talking about the big name stores. Also, you need to watch out when you sign up for the Obama government phone. The solicitors will take pictures of your EBT card, your medical card, on their private phone. These people don't stay on the job long. And so guess what? They have your information. Many of the EBT cards were hacked, and we thought it was Walmart doing it because that's what the press said. So they adjusted all the equipment to avoid that. So it's these guys having cards made up, and they're draining your funds and your money. And on top of that, the state tells you they can only give you the money back that you're allowed each month. So if you banked a lot of money for a rainy day, you don't get that money back. And then they tell you if it happens again, you're not going to get reimbursed at all. It's your loss. So I'm just warning the seniors, that's what's happening. Because how can they use an EBT card in New York at a liquor and steakhouse and ring up $341? I can't even go to a restaurant in California and charge a dinner. And that's what's happening. So I'm alerting people. If you got to give them those cards and they take pictures, take a picture of them so you can identify these crooks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee.
No more.
No more public comment? Okay. Moving on to item I, which would be reports by city council members on regional boards, commissions, and committees. Start with Mr. Pratton.
Nothing on that. I need to report on a League of Cities, California cities, but I'll do that during the end presentation.
Okay. Mr. Vice Mayor?
Nothing to report tonight.
All right, thank you. Mr. Reed?
Nothing.
And Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes, I attended a SACOG General Board meeting on October 16th. It was actually one of the more fascinating meetings that I've been to because there were arguments. Debates. What came up was they are changing the funding percentages for pavement improvement, the pavement improvement programs, and large project programming. So it used to be a 15% toward pavement improvement and 70 or 85 toward big projects. So what staff was recommending is that, because a lot of the cities and the county have roads that need pavement improvement. And so they were recommending upping that to make it a 35-65 split temporarily. Well, the heated discussion happened because a lot of cities, but especially within the counties, need much more money toward pavement improvement. And so it became very heated. They felt like, some felt like it should have been a 65 toward pavement and 35% to go toward big projects. And I have to be honest, I actually had to go back and forth because I know we have our own pavement improvement that needs to take place. It would be nice to have some funding from SACOG to go toward it. But we also have a huge Walnut Interchange project that we need funding for. So I listened very intently to the entire conversation. It ended up going the 35-65 split, 35 toward pavement improvement. But I guess I just want to kind of put it out there that these aren't meetings that we just go to and like, okay, that there are some very good conversations that took place. And our county supervisor, Pat Hume, actually was there fighting a huge fight to get a little bit more toward the pavement improvement. So it was very interesting, and very interesting to hear other entities such as Folsom came and made this comment that I thought, gosh, is he in Galt? He said, we went and we built all these roads and now we can't take care of them. He goes, just like we went and built all these parks because we had Quimby fees and can't take care of them. And I thought, that sounds familiar. We were there at one point. So it was kind of good to know that other people get into the position that we struggled through at times, and to see others say, well, we got out of it this way or whatever. So it was a very interesting meeting. On top of that, we had a presentation by a Charles Marin, who I guess does a big strong towns, strong cities education type thing. And he had some really interesting points, and I think it would be worth maybe at some point, and I will dig into his website and see. It's very interesting. He comes from a whole different, he says, the way that planning and development has been happening since World War II, it's not sustainable. That's why the cities are all finding themselves with too many roads to take care of, or can't get, or it costs much more money to get public works services out to a big area and not as much to those closer to them, but we charge them the same. And anyway, it was really interesting to kind of, and I'll dig a little bit deeper in some of the stuff. But he had the most exciting thing. I got very distracted, I will admit, because he flashed up a slide that showed a picture of something, and I went, oh my gosh, that needs to go down on 4th Street, that right there. So I immediately just started looking up online to see this whole thing and lost track of the rest of his discussion, because it is so perfect for, in my opinion, for Galt. And so I passed that off to Amy and to the chamber and said, hey, look, and I think they're a little excited about it too. So hopefully that will come to fruition a little bit here. So that was my excitement for my meeting.
All right, well, thank you for sharing all that. Good to hear that our county representative is fighting on our behalf. I actually personally don't have anything I've attended since the last council meeting that I need to report on, so we will move on to item I1, which is the League of Cities 2024 Annual Conference and Expo. Mr. Pratton.
All right, I attended the conference. It was in Long Beach, October 8th through the 10th. I attended 11 different sessions. So one of the reasons I was asked to go there was so that we would have representation, because they generally, on the last day, they have a session that they want us to vote on. Well, it turns out they didn't have anything to vote on this year, so so that was a little bit of a bummer, but it still was good. The sessions that I attended were good. I met a lot of different. There was a lot of city managers there. There was a lot of kind of like the last League of Cities meeting that I went to. It was a good mix, and they do tend to try to get you in contact with like cities. You know, they'll have lunches or meetings for smaller cities our size, and those are good. Met a lot of people. Let's see. Of all those sessions, there was a few different things, but I think the only one I really need to comment on is Redlands down in Southern California reduced their homeless through strategy and collaboration was the name of the session, and it was really a good meeting. They talked a lot about how they did what in our last meeting was presented to us, what we're trying to do in the Sacramento County, and that is boil all these different groups together. So Redlands has been doing that. Of course, they're a pretty good sized city, so they get a lot of grants, and they even commented on, the fact that they get a lot of money in grants, but they don't just keep all that to themselves. They have small cities outside of theirs, and they actually will work with those smaller cities to use them in their numbers to get their grants, and then they can give something back out to those small cities. So it's definitely a model we could look at. Next week there's a county-city coalition on homeless services and behavioral health that looks like Sean, Mayor Farmer, and myself probably be attending. And I'm hoping to see some of that same kind of information there. I know we've talked about it before, and sometimes, it feels like you go to those meetings and it's just talk. But I'm hopeful that there'll be some progress somewhere. So that's why I'm going to that one next week, to see if if it connects at all to what these guys are doing. But basically, they had hired one person in charge, and then he brings everybody else together. And not just the agencies, but also all the volunteer groups and that sort of stuff. They all work out of one location. And yeah, it was very interesting. So I think, all in all, successful. I would recommend, a vote or no vote next year that somebody attend it. That's all.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Pratton. Yeah, it is a good thing for new council members to attend those things. Feels like forever since I was at one, but it was very helpful, and to meet other cities. I think one of the things I remember the most was actually outside of the sessions and stuff, where you would just bump into other people, and everybody there is either a council member or a city manager or somebody, right? So I remember having like really good conversations with council members from other cities, and then we talking like, oh, you're from, it's like, well, hey, how did you guys handle that? Whatever. And just
Right.
picking people's brains on how they handled certain situations that maybe we're looking at or something like that is actually very interesting.
Spend a lot of time doing
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So, and I'm cautiously optimistic about this thing we're going to next week. We'll see. Hopefully it's good. But thank you again. Moving on to item J, going to be our consent calendar. It is recommended that items 1 through 5 be acted upon simultaneously unless a separate discussion and/or action is requested by a council member. Does any council member wish to pull any of the consent items? No?
Mayor, item J4. I don't want to pull it. If somebody just maybe give me information or give that information to the public, what the job we're creating there.
Yeah, item J4 is the approval of the new principal civil engineer classification, salary range, incentive matrix, and revised salary schedule for the unrepresented mid-management unit, just for the public to know what that is.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. The intent behind this is to provide for an additional range or additional higher, what's the word I'm looking for a higher senior type level of staff. Right now we have a senior level is our capped as our most experienced engineering position. So this would allow us to have some more flexibility in who we hire and maybe offer a more competitive salary for somebody who has a lot more experience than what we would see typically from a senior civil engineer.
So,
So
Mr.
this wouldn't be a new position per se, it just would be an additional classification within the engineering series. So right now we have an assistant, an associate, and a senior engineering series classification. We would be adding one more called a principal who would be more experienced than our senior civil engineer.
So, Mr. Griffin, that position will be under which position?
It would be part of our engineering series applications. So
No,
that
but
would all
I'm
be-
talking about this can be one position is a senior. Which position can be under that position? Can be under deputy director or?
Correct. So we could potentially have one of our younger engineers, like an assistant engineer, would be under the principal. And that is one of the ways that the structure might be for staffing. Right now, all of the engineers report to the city engineer.
Okay, so the reason I'm believing in you creating that position because we have very competitive, because we don't have that many engineer, right? It's very hard time to get, that's why we're creating that position, right?
That's what we're hoping for, is that this would make us more competitive in the market for the more experienced engineers who have 15 plus years experience, yes.
Thank you, that's why I like to, thank you. That's it, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you for that, John. I was reading the staff report this morning, and I didn't have any questions about it. So with that, I will be looking for a motion.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we didn't pull the item. Oh, but,
We have public comment.
okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, public comment on the consent calendar.
Harry Wenzel.
Good evening, Council. Harry Wenzel. pretty active commenter. Part of my question was answered with the answer to Mr. Sandhu, and just to clarify, we're not going to actually add head count. It's just a reclassification and better job. And I guess my only other question was, does this have an impact on when we go out to bid or we go out to contract? Are we going to be able to pick up a little bit of what they, what these would do? Let's say, for instance, like the design and for the slide, for instance. Is that something that we could bring in-house instead of taking out to bid because you've got a more talented, guy with his PE? Or is that kind of the thinking, or is more development of staff?
Mr. Wenzel, I'm sorry. Just to remind you, direct your questions to the council, and then what we can do is then the council can ask Mr. Griffin to respond instead of having, we don't want to encourage having dialogue with this. I'm sorry.
That's a bad habit I have, sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay, so that was my point on that, and council can take that for what it's worth. And then on the budget, at one time, I think it was about 3 years ago, there was the magic budget book, if anybody remembers that. And that was about the time that the big budget, the granular budget, the 300-page monster disappeared. And I'd asked at that time, are we going to keep this? And it was, yeah, we are, but we never did see it reappear. So as you read through like the summary, which I like the summary, you just don't get to the granular pieces of it. And the granular pieces would be like head count, and it gives you an opportunity to see what the payroll costs are and so forth. I'm not saying that I'm not advocating for the 300-pound monster to come back. I'm just saying they talked about the budget book. It sounded like something that would be accessible, on the internet, where you could look up and see a more granular what actually went into the budget. Because, so that is one. And then the other is more of a general comment, but it seems like the budget and the financial statement, we really never have like a meeting where it's not about a council meeting, but it's more about the financials, about like the budget, and where citizens can get together and people from staff can be there and just ask the question, well, what goes into that? Okay. And I think that might carry a little more interest and give a little more visibility to the numbers of the city. My last item is a curiosity question, and it's about solid waste. And the comment on the solid waste is about the increase in the number of houses, I guess, or the number of residents that we have. Is my understanding that basically it's what we do is we just bill. I mean, Cal Waste takes care of everything, and then we just bill. And so I was a little confused when I was reading the increased number of residents and the consumer price index increase. We would expect that, and we would expect the cost of what we pay to Cal Waste, because we just collect it and give it to Cal Waste, but we strip off the franchise fee and we strip off an administrative fee. So I don't know how relevant that is. I'm just wondering if there's something different than that. That would be interesting to know. And then the cost increase is partially offset by savings in other operational accounts, requiring an increase in appropriations of $397. It's a little bit of a mystery, the $539,397. It's a little bit of a mystery as to where those two numbers come from. Something to think about, where do they come from? And then the last, just to carry on add on to my comments, I see a carry forward for a capital project for $95,000 for solid waste. And I'd just like to get a visual. What is that? Again, because it's my understanding that what we really see in Public Works is, it's actually, I don't know if Public Works does the billing or whatever, but when we pay our bills, then part of it goes to Cal Waste because they did the work. Part of it stays for franchise fee and the administrative costs. So those are the only things. But I think my bigger question, and down the road, I hope we can address it, and that is whatever did happen to that budget book, because that would be, and then maybe the idea of just having a meeting where citizens can get together and discuss with staff what's, because it's very hard in 5 minutes to really go over it. All right, thank you, council.
Thank you, Mr. Wenzel.
Phyllis Johnson.
Thank you. This is regarding two things on what we're speaking on. For instance, the salary range. What are we speaking of? What kind of figures? Also, regarding the last portion where it says salary schedule, when are we talking about? Monthly, weekly? But the biggest thing is, what monies are we talking about? That's what's most important for budgeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
No more.
All right. Well, just to address some of the public comment that was made, first, Mr. Wenzel's comments. I just wanted to comment briefly on, I know in the past, sometimes when we come out with a really complex budget, that it seems not very user-friendly to the public. It's just so complicated that unless you're a CPA or something, you can't really understand it. And honestly, it's a little complicated for council members to even understand. So there was some discussion about simplifying a budget and making it more understandable, so summarizing some things. But those numbers and all that are obviously available to the public, and any such, particular information within the budget that someone wanted, we could provide that information from you. It's obviously all public information. So just to say that, but I think as far as the general public to see the budget and understand that it's to try to for the common person to grasp their head around it, that's why we kind of went away from this ginormous thing to what was presented at our meetings. But the budget is still a budget. So, and then on your other question, Mr. Wenzel, if you wanted to email me all those questions you had about what that money was and this and that, I'd be very happy to forward that on to finance and I can get you all those answers specifically. So just shoot me an email with your detailed questions and those figures and stuff, and I'll make sure you get those. Ms. Johnson, the items you asked about are actually in the agenda packet, so they're not on the agenda, but in the packet that we get that is actually available to the public online, has all the salaries, all the information that you asked about.
Okay, but that's current. If we're talking new figures, that's what I'm asking.
Well, like I said, the whole agenda packet, it breaks it all down. It's quite thorough, so I can't have a dialogue with you back and forth about it, but we can talk after the meeting more about it. But anyways, I just wanted to comment on that. Anything else? No comment? Okay. All right. Well, then I'll be looking for a motion to approve the following items. Number 1 is to receive and file warrants for the period ending October the 13th of 2025. Item 2 is the minutes of the regular meeting from October 7th. Item 3 is the adoption of the City Galt Section 125 cafeteria plan. Number 4 is the approval of the new principal civil engineer classification and salary ranges, etc. Number 5 is the midterm budget and related items. Do I have a motion to approve those 5 items?
Moved. Second?
Moved by Councilmember Reed, seconded by Councilmember Pratton. Can I have a roll call, please?
Vice Mayor Sandu.
Aye.
Councilmember Pratton.
Aye.
Councilmember Reed.
Aye.
Councilmember Rodriguez.
Aye.
Mayor Farmer.
Aye. Consent is approved 5-0. Moving on to item K, scheduled matters, notice of public hearing. Number 1, subject is going to be the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2025-10, repealing and readoption of chapter 15.04 of the Galt Municipal Code relating to building and construction, and adopting the 2025 editions of the California Building Standard Codes. Ms. Carloni?
Yes, good evening, Council. Tonight's item is the second reading of the ordinance to adopt the 2025 Building Code. Per the code, the second reading must be a public hearing, so tonight we're asking the council to hold a public hearing, receive any comments, and adopt the final building code. There are no changes to this item from the first reading on October 7th. Myself and our building official are here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to open the public hearing. So how the public hearing works is if anyone wish to speak on that item, they can during the public hearing as it's open, which it is now. To remind everybody in the public what this is briefly is just we are aligning our municipal code with the California building codes that change frequently. And so there hadn't been kind of a synchronization of those two things in some time. So the last meeting, this was explained in depth. And we've made some changes to our code to line up with that. And this is a second reading, which is required by law. Do I have anybody who wishes to speak on this item in the public?
No public comment.
All right. Council, you have any comments? No?
I'll just re-bring up what I said about it last time and how I disagree with all of the new changes that they're making, the state is making the cities move towards where everything is electric. However, the state is not in a position to provide us with, or the companies are there to provide us with electricity that we need. And so that's my big contention with this moving forward.
Duly noted. You're suggesting that the state does stuff like cart before the horse stuff? That doesn't happen.
Yes.
That never happens, Mr. Reed. Come on. All right. Any other comments? Nope. All right. Then with that, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing, and we'll be looking for a motion to adopt the ordinance number 2025-10 of the Galt City Council of the City of Galt, repealing and replacing Chapter 15.04 of the Galt Municipal Code relating to building and construction and making local amendments. Do I have a motion to approve that?
Move.
Moved by Vice Mayor Sandu. I will second that. Can I have roll call, please?
Vice Mayor Sandu?
Aye.
Councilmember Pratton?
Aye.
Councilmember Reed?
No.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Aye.
Mayor Farmer?
Yes. Approved 4-1. I had already written 5-0 until you said no.
I voted no last time.
I know you did. I should have remembered. All right, moving on to item L, regular calendar. City Council's office. We have the first item is the Beautification Committee appointment. Ms. Hebert?
So the recommendation is Councilmember Reed appoint a community member to the Beautification Committee to fill a vacant position and remaining term ending December 2028. Due to the resignation of a past employee in July 2025, there is a vacancy. One application was received, and she does meet the required requirements. So, Councilmember Reed, it is your appointment.
I would like to appoint the one person that applied.
And it is Christy Reed.
All right. And just for transparency, that Ms. Reed is your wife, correct?
That is correct.
And you have consulted with staff and attorney, and there's no conflicts of interest regarding appointing someone?
That is
as
correct.
Spouse, okay, just for the
Didn't
public.
force her.
I did not. I actually told her, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And she said yes. Good for
All
her.
right, well, we appreciate her volunteering on that. All right, we'll move on to, do we need to take public comment on these? Okay. Do we have any public comment regarding the beautification appointment?
No public comment.
All right. Moving on to item 2, which is the appointment to the Galt Youth Commission Adult Mentor. Ms. Hubert?
Okay, so Mayor Farmer and Vice Mayor Sandu both appoint an adult mentor to the Galt Youth Commission to fill 2 vacant positions with remaining terms ending December 2026. We advertise the vacancies on the website and social media. 2 applications were received, and both applicants meet the required qualifications. The applicants are Esperanza Peeve House and Camille Van Warmerdam. And I thought one was appearing, but they are not in the audience, so.
Okay. Neither of these people are here at the moment. I don't see them. Okay. Do we have any public comment on this?
No public comment.
All right. With that, any council comment? Then I would like to, if you don't mind if I go first, is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
I would like to appoint Camille Van Warmerdam to the Galt Youth Commission as an adult mentor.
And I like to appoint Esperanza Pivas.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ladies. If
you.
you're watching this back, for volunteering your time. Look forward to seeing you guys on the Youth Commission with me. All right, moving on to item M, communication. Do you have any this evening?
None this evening.
All right, city clerk's report.
None.
Comments by staff. Ms. Mendez.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. We do have a couple of staff items this evening. I'll start with the Finance Director, Lila Menor.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Lila Menor, Finance Director. The Government Finance Officers Association, or GFOA, has awarded the City of Galt the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for our annual comprehensive finance reporting, which is the ACFR, for the year ending June 30th, 2024. And so I just wanted to let you know that this is the highest form of achievement in government accounting and financial reporting, which is a true reflection of the city's commitment in transparency and accountability and its dedication to financial excellence. So with that, I really wanted to thank our finance department and the finance team for all of their hard work and dedication. Thank you.
And with that comment, Ms. Menor, just you saw the dialogue with one of our public. You'll be fine with if I forward over the email from Mr. Wenzel at some point, you can provide the information?
Yes.
And just so the public knows, any information that's more detailed regarding our budgets is available through your department, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Well, good news. Thank you for letting us know that. Continue on.
We also have our Parks and Recreation Director, Mr. Armando Solis.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I just wanted to make you aware of a few special events that are coming up before the next council meeting. We will have our Spookishly Fun Movie Night on Friday, October 24th. The Swap Meet and Antique Tractor Show will be on Saturday, October 25th. The Trick or Treat on 4th Street will be on Saturday, the 25th. And we will be holding our November Saturday market on November 1st in conjunction with the Children's Maker Mark event. So just wanted to make you aware of those events.
All right. Thank you, sir.
And lastly, we have our Public Works Director, Mr. John Griffin.
Couple items to report. First item is the sandbag station is now active. So as in years past, we have a sandbag station on the north side of the Public Works Administration or the MSC building. We again request that public, if they need sandbags, they come and use that for sandbags only and not fill their vehicles up and use that for filling their sand play stations or stuff in their backyard. We've observed that in the past, and staff does not go down and stop people, but that's just our request, that leave the sand there for people who actually need them for sandbags. But the sand will be available through the winter. Second item is a reminder of SACOG is hosting the Unmet Transit Needs meeting here this Thursday at 1 p.m. here at City Hall. That's an annual meeting, and it's required as part of the State Transportation Development Act process, where it allows the public to come in and share any concerns or issues they have with their transit system. And then last item to report is a follow-up on an item from the last council meeting. With the inclement weather that occurred earlier this month, the Simmerhorn Road closure has extended an additional week. Paving occurred and finished yesterday, so we expect that Simmerhorn Road will reopen by the end of the week. So that's all I have.
Mr. Griffin, I have a couple of questions for you, just while I'm thinking about them real quick. I noticed they put the new traffic intersection lights in at Twin Cities and Marengo in front of the Summerfield project. They're not active yet, but they're starting to put them in. So I have some questions, and I keep forgetting to ask you. There is a plan to repave that whole intersection and everything, because it's all like where they've kind of trenched up and poured, and it's really bad right now. There is a plan to...
Yes, they will need to, I would have to look at the improvement plans to see exactly what's required, but they will be required to. What's out there now is a temporary paving. It's part of their construction process. They'll be required to perform finished paving once the work is all done.
Okay. And then I had a comment about the sandbag thing you brought up. I just made me remember when we do enter into, I mean, obviously there's not much use for those. When we have a bad storm, then that's when people start going after those. But I remember last year what we'd have is we would have people posting, online saying the sandbag, it's all gone. And then the city would put more out. But then I was having to go back to people or post something publicly myself saying it's back, there's more sand back there. So maybe just this year, if we could maybe coordinate a little better with like social media team on when that runs out and gets filled, so we can get something back online real quick so people know, just so I don't have to be the intermediary. Yeah. So I would appreciate it.
We can do that.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, John, same thing, when we changing the Simmerhorn, that's construction from 17 to 24, right? And did we put on the social media, a lot of people calling why they changed from 17 to 24? I know there is a reason, but did we putting on the social media somewhere so people know this can be closed till 24?
Yes, we did. Amy and her team actually posted and gave us until the end of the month. So we're actually going to be a little ahead of what's currently posted on the website and was put on social media.
Okay, thank you.
That concludes staff comments this evening. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Mendez. Moving on to comments by city council members and future agenda items. We'll start with Mr. Pratton.
Nothing other than we do still have an opening for a commissioner on the Parks and Recreation Commission, which will be closing on Monday, I believe. And they can still put in on Monday, right?
Yes.
So it closes, that's the same day they can put in. So just want to make sure people are aware of that particular committee does not have to be in the city limits. So somebody who lives within the high school, the Galt High School area.
District,
yeah, is able to. So if you live just outside of town and your kids go to high school or something, I'd like to see some people put in for that. I believe we do have some, so that's good. But more to pick from, the better. That's all I've got.
All right, thank you, sir. Vice Mayor Sandhu?
Thank you, very quick. Thank you for staff, they're working hard. Thank you for the public comment. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilmember Reed?
Very similar to what the vice mayor said. Thank you for all the public comment. I always love hearing Harry's input on numbers. And thank you for the staff. I know they work hard every day to bring us this packet and let us do our job the way that we do it. So thank you, everybody. And that's it.
All right, Councilwoman Rodriguez?
Ditto for all of that. Yes, thank you for all that you do, staff. And I also would like to extend a thank you to all of our commissioners and committee members on all of our boards. I know sometimes it's hard to get out there, but thank you. Thank you for what you do for the city. And Mr. Griffin took away my announcement about the unmet transit needs, but again, that's Thursday here in this room at 1. They also will have a Zoom meeting, because I know most people work at 1, a Zoom meeting later, and that's all posted on the city's social media page, so you can check that out.
All right, thank you. Myself, just again, thanks to the public comment. We appreciate those of you in the community that do come to the meetings and give your input. This is what these meetings are about. And so thank you for doing that. And want to remind everybody to have a safe Halloween. I know there's some forecast of rain on Saturday, which is kind of a bummer, so we'll see how that works out. Can you make some calls or something? You have any influence? Yeah. Well, we're getting into those months, so it's a factor. And there was something else, but I can't recall what it was. Yeah. Well, congratulations, Ms. Mendez, on your first fill-in as city manager, the shortest council meeting that I can remember. See what happens when Chris leaves? Short meeting. It's his fault. We have long meetings. All right. Well, with that, I thank everybody for coming again tonight, and I'll adjourn the meeting at 7:03.